The following program contains mature subject matter. Viewer discretion is advised.
Leslie joins us. We're also joined by psychotherapist Dr. Mike Dow, OM expert Maya Block in the audience. And joining us via Skype is safe sex educator Melissa Nathan Gerson. Thank you all so much for being here.
Thank you.
I will never hear OM again and think the same things.
I know. Well, I definitely feel this practice has a lot of potential for couples to become more intimate with their partners, and also for women to really voice their desires that might have been silenced for a long time. At the same time, I still have a lot of questions about the intricacies of the practice, and I want to say for the record that I'm in a long-term monogamous relationship, so my viewpoint is a little bit traditional, but I still have some questions. Number one, how can a single person practice this with somebody and not end up feeling connected with the other person that's touching them? And number two, how can couples practice this outside of their relationship with other people and have this, is it an open relationship? Because my boyfriend, I know I wouldn't want him touching another woman, and I know he wouldn't want another man touching me. Now, both of us, in fact, went to one of these turn-on events to find out more information, and it was quite an interesting experience, I'd say. I likened it similar to a speed dating with a bunch of strangers in a room, but my boyfriend has a different perspective.
And Kale's actually here. So, Kale.
Kale, tell us about your experience.
With a big smile on his face.
Yeah. Yeah, I was a little skeptical going in. Leslie dragged me to the event. The instructors would basically have us do exercises with different people, strangers. One guy told me he was addicted to sex. He was a sex addict. He couldn't stop thinking about orgasming every day. Another girl asked me for my phone number and if I had a girlfriend.
So it didn't really feel clinical to you the way the instructor in the tape piece at least described it. This felt more like a dating kind of experiment.
Speed dating, yeah, in my experience.
But this was also, I want to point out, this was a meetup group. So it wasn't like they were practicing, you know, orgasmic meditation there. It was simply to meet people, like-minded people that might be interested in the practice.
And so I want to bring Maya into the conversation because you're a proponent. You even met your husband through orgasmic meditation, Eli, who we saw on the tape, right?
Yeah.
So you and your husband practice OM. You do practice it with other partners outside of your marriage, and yet you met your husband through it. So by necessity, there was a personal connection for you. How do you separate all of that?
It doesn't necessitate that you get attached. It doesn't mean that you'll necessarily want to fall in love with this person and go on a date and have a sandwich with them. It just means that you're filling this actual nutrient in our lives that we've all been taught to avoid.
I understand that it fills this nutrient aspect, but how do you know that the person dispensing that nutrient has similar intent and is not there with other interests, isn't a predator, isn't really there because they're sort of a pervert?
Totally. Great question. So I just want to be super clear. Almost everyone who practices OM practices with their partner that they come with. And regardless, I tell every single person, man or woman, you need to feel safe. You need to feel, you know, that you know this person in order to practice. So it isn't like you're just practicing with a stranger.
Dr. Dow, I want to bring you in and ask you how you feel about this because you have a unique perspective.
I do. And you know, 100 years ago, we thought it was a good idea for women to go to doctors and have their genitals stroked because we thought that women had anxiety. And we figured out that that wasn't a good idea, right? And you know, when we have an orgasm, yes, there are health benefits. And oxytocin, that bonding hormone, is going to be released. And you are going to feel things. You're going to feel connected. You're going to feel less anxiety. It can relieve headaches. But should you be having those feelings with a stranger, or should you be working to form those bonds with your partner?
Well, that's a great point, but proponents say that by doing this first, you're going to help strengthen the bonds with the people you care about.
Or are you going to be replacing it? You know, I would worry that a woman would go to this practice as a substitute. So when if I was working with somebody who was single, a woman who had difficulty reaching orgasm, I wouldn't want her to substitute this in her life as a safety net, right? I would give her exercises that would help her to reach orgasm, something in the safety of her own home by herself, and then with somebody that she found that she was going to be in an intimate relationship with, not as a substitute.